Edge Specialist Advice Network. Hope you're all well. This is another little segment in our series in relation to how to retire in a hybrid sense, part-time overseas, part-time in your country, and try and stretch your retirement dollar further so that you can have a higher quality of life and then therefore live longer and happier. So one of the things that people have asked me in the past is like, well, Scott, you know what, I'm going to go over there for a period of time and I might, for the first couple of weeks or the first month, okay, it's going to be pretty good and everything will be new and exciting and I'll just really fit into it and I'll be saying things like, whoa, that cost $2. In my country, that would cost $12, that sort of thing. But, and like, oh my God, you can't do that in our country. That'll be banned, or think silly things like that, which we all love to do, and I still do them. I always calculate how much my bowl of soup costs. I'm like, well, that's $1.60. I'm like, yep, that's a great cost much. My beer's $1.70. How good is this? My beer at Walmart in Mexico is 80 cents. I'm like, I guess when you're a numbers guy, you can't help but do that. After a while, that is going to wear off, and people are like, well, Scott, what if I get bored? Like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't really understand. I'm kind of a people person, but I'm not a kind of a people person. I want to, how is this going to happen? And I suppose, in with those things is the familiarity and community that I would suggest is very important to get into. For example, in any of these countries that we would identify as retirement countries, there would be a huge, and I mean huge, expat community. It's really easy to find those expat communities. There's plenty of groups on Facebook. They're really easy to find them. They're usually very accommodating. They'll fill you on the real deal about what it is and who should I go to get a plumber. Hey, I want to go to the airport. Hey, I need to go to the government department. Does anyone know how this works? Hey, I need a driver. And that'll come back to you. And that's my experience with a lot of countries actually when we've been doing this tour. And it leads into a lot of things. So my advice and the way that I would like to have things for me when I eventually retire like this overseas is I would also like to have a non-expat community, as in the original people from that country, whether it's in Southeast Asia or it's in Latin America or it's in it's in Eastern Europe. This is the community that I think will be extra important to sort of blend into. And I'm like, how would you do that? For me, I think the easiest way is to give. And so if you went and did one day a week at a charity store, or you went and did some sort of other community-minded event, like maybe you're washing plates at the soup kitchen. I'm sure there's plenty of them to find. This is areas, and these are things that you won't find a heavy saturation of expats. You'll actually find the nationals, the local people, and this is how you build a community, because you're actually giving back. You're not just coming in and like, hey, yeah, I'm flush with cash. Look at me, I'm a white man, and in a brown world, woohoo. No, you're giving back. You want to contribute, and this is how you would slowly get into those communities. One of the things about getting into both an expat community and a local level community is that things start to feel easier. All your questions will be answered quickly. You'll understand the vibe of why things happen, both from like a governmental sense, but also really the rhythm of the population, how it sort of rolls. And you will also, I guess, you'll feel more comfortable in yourself. For example, you often hear like, oh, I'm going overseas, I'm quite nervous. I've been told to only stick to the local hotels, and you don't go over that street, you do this street, and oh my God, I'm going to end up with no kidney. And you know what? Those urban myths that are just not true in reality. If you are that sort of person, you have that angst and that anxiety, like, oh, but I'm so unknown, and what if there's heaps of violence, or what if there's everyone's trying to steal my money, or everyone's trying to rip me off? You will soon find out that those concerns are well overblown. And if you want confirmation about them being overblown, once you start assimilating into communities, both local and expat, you'll soon realize that some of these urban myths that are just not there. And you can relax, and you can have a good time, and you can start to build a nice little hideaway for yourself in your hybrid version, and then come back to your own country and do all the things you got to do, see family and doctors and stuff. So for me, if I was nervous or anxious about anything to do with, like, it all seems very scary, I don't understand paperwork, oh my God, what if there's heaps of crime? You know, you'll soon find out that those things are really overblown, and the locals will let you in on them. Now, don't get me wrong, there's crime everywhere. I think if you wanted to, if you're a person that says, yeah, I'm going to go live in the US, I'll be like, okay, you know what you're doing. As far as the crime stats goes, that's probably a fairly high crime country, especially some states. You know, California at the moment is just off the charts. It is ridiculous. Yeah, Chicago, St. Louis, a lot of the towns in the US are the murder capitals of the world, and they've got the highest per capita murder rates. Well higher than Southeast Asia, Latin America, you know, even Eastern Europe. They're quite safe actually. So I'm not sure why we think that this isn't the case. And look, there's a lot of things. It's a lot of Hollywood, and it's a lot of the unknown. And so what I think we can do is we can take away this fear of the unknown, like, oh, I guess it's going to be, oh my God, I'll get robbed, or everyone's going to try to rip me off. You can undo that by assimilating yourself into both expat and local communities, slowly but surely, and you can really find out, you know, on the ground information, and you'll feel well and truly more comfortable. This is my advice. But you know what? Giving back through those communities, you'll feel very, very good. That's what giving is about. Giving is about us. It makes us feel good. It's what we're here to do in the earth, as well as, you know, have a good lifestyle and look after our family. These are the things that are going to make you feel well and truly more comfortable. Anyway, guys, look, that is enough from me. I want everyone to go on and have a bit of an idea, have a bit of a feel, look on the internet, have a bit of a feel about this, and have a look and go and try and find out some expat communities of you know, a country that you might be going to. Here's what you should do. You're like, I want to go and do this in Malaysia or Thailand. Okay, go and find an expat Facebook group and say, hey, look guys, I'm just thinking about coming and living there for 3 months. I've done some research. I want to go to this town. I'm just curious, does everyone feel safe there? What are the scams I should look out for? How much does it cost you to live? All that sort of stuff. And they'll be very, very honest. And you'll be like, oh, and they'll probably laugh at you, go, yeah, we've heard the old safe question before. We've been here 7 years. We love it. We're doing it. Here's the things we do. Come and see me when you come over. You'll be so surprised that this actually exists. So that is your homework for anyone who's feeling a bit anxious and wants to do some more. Please go and do this. Anyway, that's enough from me. Remember, life is a family sport. Give yours an edge. See ya.